And welcome back. Hope you're enjoying tonight's programme. More action coming up in just a second. The European Lightweight Championship title fight in Sicily. Antonio Renzo against Paul Charters. A word on the fight from our two guests this evening. Paul Charters, Colin, a bit of a checkered career.
Yeah, I think he had quite a few hiccups in the earlier part of his career. But he seems to be on a roll at the moment, so I'm sure he's going to be up for the performance tonight.
Obviously a very, very big night for him. How difficult to go to Italy and try and win a title, Gary?
Well, some people have said it's almost impossible. You've got to knock him out to actually get a draw. So the odds are really stacked against him now.
He won't have much support. He's a Newcastle lad. Geordie, I doubt whether too many of them have travelled. How sort of does it help a boxer when you've got a crowd behind you and they're really rooting for you?
Well, it depends, I suppose, on the boxer's mentality. Some boxers it helps, but sometimes it could actually strengthen the opponent.
I noticed that Renzo as well has been doing a bit of training with Gianfranco Rossi, who we know on ringside quite well, and maybe getting a bit of advice. What would you have thought?
Well, if he's getting advice from Rossi, I think Charles has got no chance. You know what Rossi boxing is like.
Mind you, Rossi is a good world champion, hasn't he? He's held the title. So a brief word, your thoughts, what's going to happen?
Well, I think Charters will go out there and he'll fight his heart out because it is a title fight, and as I said again, it might be an opportunity he might not get again.
OK. Gentlemen, sit back, enjoy this one. It's off to Sicily then for the European Lightweight Championship fight between the champion from Italy, Antonio Renzo, and challenging him, it's Newcastle's Paul Charters. Let's join our commentator at ringside. It's Ian Dark.
Welcome to Sicily, famous of course for its volcanoes, vineyards, and yes, the mafia. And tonight staging a European lightweight title defence for Antonio Renzo, very much the hometown man on the right of your picture there in the white shorts with the red stripe down the side. And what a chance this is for Paul Charters from North Shields. What a difficult task it's going to be for him fighting away from home, because chances of foreign boxers winning in Italy are roughly equivalent usually to Stockport County getting an away win at Liverpool in football terms. It's that tough a task. But Charters is a much improved boxer, sticking out his left jab confidently at the start of the contest. Renzo, all-round competent kind of fighter, but certainly not unbeatable. He's not a super fighter or anything like that. But Charters, long odds against here, but he's started fast and doing most of the work in the early stages. Looking a bit wild, but that's a good left to the body from the man from North Shields. Charters, who's 27, and Renzo really getting towards the veteran stage at 31.
Stop! Like this.
Referee Marcel Rouleau from France stepping in. Charters with those tattoos on his arms, much beloved it seems by many of the modern boxers. Renzo has got 6 defeats on his 29-fight record, but he's been on a good run in the last couple of years, making a couple of defences of the Italian lightweight title, and getting a warning there about use of the head, Renzo. It's quite a bright start by Charters. He's throwing out plenty of leather. His punch economy's not everything it might be, but he's working hard.
Stop!
And this time, again, Renzo getting a warning, this time for holding and hitting. So twice cautioned in the opening round. So this referee is not going to necessarily do the Italian too many favours just because he's at home. Renzo having to cover up a lot in this opening round, and the crew-cutted Charters making a pretty bright start. Watching at ringside, the wife of the champion, Antonio Renzo. Not all boxers like to have their wives watching at ringside, and not all wives like to watch their husbands fight. She looks a picture of anxiety, doesn't she?
Stop!
Renzo hasn't really landed very much cleanly at all in this opening round. In fact, it's been a very difficult opening round, this, for the champion. There he is, holding and hitting again, this time escaping a warning from the referee, but Charters is quite happy with that. He doesn't mind mixing it at close quarters. Tried the right uppercut inside, and again there. And he's saying now, the referee, if you do that again, I'm going to deduct a point. Holding on behind the neck and pulling Charters onto the punches. That's a good right uppercut inside from Charters, and he makes the champion miss. What a good start this is for the British fighter. A couple of hooks close in. He really does look sharp and ready for this contest. Good opening first round, that, for Paul Charters. I would have thought the judges would have given that even away from home to him. There he is, landing with a right and looking to rough Renzo up inside. Round 2 of this European lightweight title fight at 9 stone 9. Paul Charters, the challenger from North Shields, is right at the start of the round. And Renzo, with almost his first significant punch of the contest, has Charters down. So drama in round 2. Just seemed to be caught cold. I don't think he's too hurt, Charters, by that, but Renzo will be much encouraged. And again, the referee telling him to keep his punches up this time. He's had all manner of cautions in the first couple of rounds, this champion. Looks a rough, cagey, and very unorthodox customer, Renzo. Quite difficult to catch cleanly. He's got his gloves up. He moves at rather odd angles and in odd directions. Charters looking to trade with him there. There seems to be a bit of a mark under the left eye of Charters. So this second round not going as well as the first did. Nice left from him there, though. Charters, who's had a couple of good wins this year. He stopped the Midlands area champion Peter Till in 6 rounds in a British title eliminator, and stopped Kevin Spratt in 2 rounds. And all that represents quite a recovery in the career of a man who lost 4 of his first 5 professional contests. Probably in those days, if they told you that Charters was going to go on to fight for a European title, you'd have probably sent for men in white coats to take the purveyor of that opinion away. Left inside there from Renzo was a good one. Again there, Renzo is warned about holding and hitting. Well, when is the referee going to deduct a point for this? That's 3 cautions. I would have thought that added up to a point deduction. That's only a slip. Renzo is not down. He has been down in his career. He's been stopped 3 times by that very tough Belgian Jean-Marc Renard and by Gianni Di Napoli, and he was stopped in the first round by a Tunisian journeyman as well. So he's far from unbeatable, Renzo. He's caught by a really good right there as he languished on the ropes and left himself open. This is a very aggressive performance so far from Charters on the floor in the second round, but he's come back pretty well from that. And it's a real roughhouse brawl so far in the second. That's a really good left from Charters this time. Thudding into the head, then he gets in a body punch as well. And he's giving Renzo here all the trouble he can handle. Chance of Renzo from the Sicilian crowd. And now there seems to be some blood around the face of Renzo.